Micah Parsons wearing green and gold against his old team. The decision that shattered Dallas. And you don't know what really happened behind the scenes. If you're seeing this now, it's because the algorithm chose you. This won't be in the news tomorrow. Because the former defensive captain of the Cowboys, the player who turned Dallas into a quarterback's nightmare, is about to face his mentor. And what he said about Dak Prescott will shock the NFL. It's gonna be painful. Just 3 words. But behind them, an $188 million contract, a silent betrayal, and a player traded like a baseball card. Was Parsons really ready to kill the man who taught him how to be a monster? What happened after the no to the contract? Why did the Packers give $132 million guaranteed for a player who didn't even play 10 games last season? And why did Dak Prescott, upon hearing his name, smile, then fall silent for 17 seconds? This isn't just a game. It's revenge in disguise. Imagine spending 4 years as the face of a team's defense, the symbol of power, grit, leadership. Imagine being the player who makes quarterbacks tremble just by seeing your jersey number. Imagine being chosen by Jason Garrett, Mike McCarthy, and every player in Dallas to be the new Lawrence Taylor. Then, one day, you ask for a new contract. They say, no. You try to negotiate. They ignore you. You speak to the media. They call you ungrateful. And on the last Friday before the deadline, you're traded for 2 first-round picks, for a defensive tackle who never played, without even a thank you. Now Micah Parsons, the kid from Pennsylvania who became a legend in Dallas, walks into AT&T Stadium, wearing green and gold for the Green Bay Packers. And what does he say about Dak Prescott? He was like a mentor to me. But you know how things are. And when the mentor becomes the target, slow motion camera. The stadium falls silent. Dak Prescott glances at the sideline and sees jersey number 11. But it's no longer the same boy he taught to run like lightning. It's a predator. And he knows, today, it's not just about winning. It's about honor. It's about who truly built whom. On social media, Micah Parsons Aves Dak has 2.1 million tweets. Cowboys betrayal, 890K. But the worst came from the locker room. An anonymous source from the Cowboys front office revealed they didn't want to pay market value, they wanted a cheap hero. And when he refused to take less, they sold him like trash. And more. 3 Cowboy starters demanded a meeting with Jerry Jones and walked out with red eyes. One of them, safety Jaron Kearse, sent Parsons a direct Instagram message. You weren't betrayed. You were expelled for courage. And the most shocking part? Dak Prescott himself, in an exclusive interview with NFL Network, said, I taught him to be strong, but I didn't know he'd become so strong, that he'd make me tremble. Plus, a leaked video shows Parsons in the Packers locker room holding a Cowboys cap and cutting it open with scissors, without saying a word, just staring into the camera and smiling. Over 400K fans signed the online petition, Bring Micah Back. And Cowboys fans, they're split. Some call him a traitor. Others call him a hero. The truth, no one knows who the villain is anymore. Coincidence? No. Someone's behind this, and that someone is about to make history. Brutal stat? Parsons, 13 sacks in 2022, 12.5 in 2023. Dak Prescott, 32 sacks allowed in 2023, 21 of them caused by Micah Parsons. This isn't statistics, it's a sentence. It's like comparing a surgeon to a nervous intern. When Parsons was on the field, Dak had 3.2 seconds to throw. Now, 1.9 seconds. And the Cowboys' pass rush pressure dropped 42% since he left. Worst part? Dallas has no pass rusher even close to 50% of his impact. And Green Bay, with Parsons, pressure increased 68%. They didn't buy a player. They bought a system. A system that turns quarterbacks into prey. If this were a movie, the director would cut to the Cowboys coach crying in the locker room. Imaginary cut. The sack graph plummets like a broken elevator. Meanwhile, the Packers' graph rockets upward. And the worst. The Cowboys still haven't signed a single quality pass rusher. They're not rebuilding. They're saying goodbye. Parsons wasn't traded. He was buried alive. And now, he's coming back to dig them up. But what if I told you the deal wasn't just about money? Sources say Parsons requested a non-rehire clause, meaning if traded, he'd never play against Dallas. They refused, so he accepted the trade, knowing one day he'd return. Not for revenge, for proof. Proof he doesn't need Dallas to be great. Proof he can be greater, even against the ones who made him. And here's more. Packers coach Matt LaFleur has already trained a special formation. Parsons plus 2 LBs in simultaneous blitz. Exactly how Dak used to face him when Parsons was still in Dallas. But now, he's the architect. The detail everyone missed? On Parsons' jersey, inside the seam, is a stitched phrase, "They thought I was replaceable." And what no one noticed? Dak Prescott, in his last interview, wore the same cologne Parsons wore in 2021. Coincidence? No. It's a signal. A signal that he knows. Today, it's not just a game. It's a judgment. And the jury, the entire NFL, and the verdict, still being written. And that's when the Packers coach whispered to his assistant, "If he gets a sack on the first drive, I put him back in. And I won't take him out." The camera didn't catch it, but the forgotten microphone in the meeting room caught everything. This isn't theory. It's a recording. And it leaked. Right as Parsons stepped onto the field. The stadium exploded. But not because of the music, not because of the flag, because he walked with the same stride he had as a 19-year-old kid, with the same posture, with the same gaze. And Dak Prescott, he heard the noise, turned, and saw. And for 3 seconds, he stopped breathing. Because he knew this wasn't the player he coached. It was the monster he helped create. And now, he's going to have to face him. Alone. Without protection. Without a shield. Without anyone. If you skip this moment, you'll regret it. Pause here. Breathe. Because what comes next changes everything. And now I ask you, is Micah Parsons a traitor? Or the man who refused to be enslaved by a broken system? Leave your opinion, because the comments here will decide the next video. And if you think you've seen it all, wait, only for subscribers. Because hot information is a privilege for those who are inside. Comment Parsons if you believe he'll get 3 sacks. Comment Dak if you think he'll surrender. And if you made it this far, you're a true fan. Hit the bell, because next week's bomb will explode your feed, and no one will see it coming.